Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hope y'all doing great. Hope y'all doing amazing. I know I am. Let me listen to myself. Damn, I sound very clear. Alright, good. Sweet. Let's close that. Let's draw some more hands, baby. Okay. Actually, I'm not gonna be drawing hands today. I'm gonna be moving away just a little bit from the hands because I feel like I'm seeing improvement. This hand didn't used to be like this. Back when I used to draw hands, it did not look like that. Right? And yeah, excuse me. I wish I kept like the same file, the same Photoshop file for all my drawings to sort of like see the comparison. But I do feel it. It would be nice if I could show it like on stream. But yeah, this is today I'm planning on drawing beans. Lots of beans. I'm very proud of this one. Like this rose looks real. This one, the foreshortening kind of fucks it up. Yeah, I choke at the foreshortening. Like the flat ones, they're alright. The foreshortening is what messes with me a little bit, you see? Yeah. Okay. So today we're actually going to watch a video together about drawing beans. I don't know if it exists. We're gonna see. We're gonna watch that and do some practice. And like I said, like yesterday, this is not gonna be a long stream. So how to draw beans? Easy. Oh. This is wait first. Let me Jordan Welsh. Jordan Welsh is a really cool dude. He's got a really cool YouTube channel. But yeah, how to draw the torso using the bean shape. I'm not looking to draw a torso specifically, but I mean it's known for the you know, being the shape of the torso, so that makes sense. But I can use it in literally everything. In more abstracted characters and in character design, it's used for literally anything. The bean shape could be the head, it could be the torso, it could be the upper body, it could be the legs, but I'm more interested in drawing the fingers, so I'm thinking maybe I can use the bean shape to draw the finger. Robo bean. So this is okay. Let me switch to this. I'm looking at Proko's video. Proko is pretty cool. Oh, I don't know if I can show this on stream. Hopefully I can. Oh shit, look at this, my stream. What? That's insane. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm the 6th video. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. There's RoboBean versus AnatoBean. What does that mean? Figure drawing critique. How to draw beans. I'm looking more like how to draw them in 3D. So okay, so I think
this is, however, exactly what.
Okay, I don't know if. Let me reduce the quality first of all.
What I'm thinking about when I analyze the form. So showing this simplistic exercise is a
Let me turn off the music a little bit.
Great vision into the thought process.
What is
It's also
happening?
just a really good
Okay,
exercise
do I
to
need
practice to see and draw three-dimensional form. You should be able to freehand cylinders and boxes from any angle and get the perspective right as I explained in the structure video a few weeks ago. Let's review cylinders and boxes. This exercise is very similar to the bean exercise, except now instead of using balls, we're going to use boxes. Boxes are a little bit more advanced, but more effective because now you have plane changes to better explain the orientation of the forms. Spheres are not effective in showing perspective, as I explained last week. You can't see a sphere as three-dimensional unless you add tone. Without tone, a sphere is just a circle. A cylinder introduces perspective because it has a plane change at the top and bottom. A box shows even more perspective because it has a plane change from the front to side planes along with the top and bottom planes. Landmarks. Okay, so let's take a look at the details of the RoboBean and what exactly the boundaries represent. The top box is the rib cage and a portion of the shoulders. The bottom is the pelvis combined with the butt. Remember those landmarks we went over last week? Well, they're really going to come in handy as you construct the RoboBean. Almost every edge or corner falls on a specific area along the body. Let's start at the top. The top front corners of the first box align with this corner on the clavicles. At the bottom, the corners of the 10th ribs indicate the bottom of the box. These four corners give us the front plane of the box. On the back side, the ridge of the spine of the scapula provides the edge between top and back plane. Just stretch that back plane to the length of the rib cage. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly where those corners are because the ribcage in the back is covered by muscles. But the exact points are not important. Just make sure to get the length and angle correct. The top plane is everything between the scapula and clavicles. You have to ignore the trapezius muscle to see this. This is a very important plane to show when the body is leaning forward or backward towards us. Usually I'll even extend this to the edges of the shoulders, but we'll save that for the mannequinization video. Connect the side planes for the sides of the ribcage,
It's interesting
and
because
the bottom
bean is two circles just connected to each other. So when I'm trying to draw a bean, maybe I'm not drawing a bean, maybe I'm just drawing two circles and then connecting them. And they, well, not two circles, but two spheres and then connecting them. And one sphere could be overlapping with the other. And so that's how you create the three-dimensionality.
bottom plane doesn't matter much. The space between the boxes is filled with guts and other fun stuff.
These guys are old, man. But
Let's
it's
move
very
on to the
impressive.
bottom box. The most useful corners I feel are the aces, the corners on the front of the pelvis. They're extremely important to find the angle of the pelvis. Unfortunately, there aren't any good points to indicate the bottom of the front plane. You'll just have to use your imagination and extend them from the pubic bone. Follow the edge of the iliac crest until the pieces for the side planes. The back plane starts at the pieces and includes the mass of the glutes. The rounded part at the bottom of the glutes is the edge, where you can show a bit of a bottom plane. And again, the top plane doesn't matter because of the guts thing. Together, all these points form the two boxes, connected by the spine, which moves the boxes. Differences between genders. The proportions are going to vary from person to person. That's why it's good to know what landmarks you're looking for on the body, so that you can analyze those points on the person you're drawing and measure the proportions. Generally, the rib cage and pelvis on a male are about the same width. On a female, the rib cage is thinner and the pelvis is wider. There's variation within genders. Some men have wider hips and some women have broader shoulders. Mentally identifying the body type before you draw it will help. Motion. With the addition of the top, bottom, and side planes, we can show the motion and position of the body with more detail than with the bean. The corners help to show the tilt side to side with the angles from one side to the other. The top and bottom planes help to show the leaning forward or backward, and the side planes help to show twisting. More about the twist. This brings me to an important part about the twist that I forgot to mention in the bean video. I showed with the towel that the overlaps come from the corners that are closer to us. This is true from the side view of the torso, but from front or back, it's actually the opposite. Here's a better explanation for getting the overlaps right. Figure out which side of the body you're seeing completely. The overlaps are the ones parallel to this rhythm. So, if you're looking at the side, then the side plane is being twisted like this. And the front and back plane will wrap back around the side plane. If you're looking at the front plane, then the same thing happens here. But now the side planes wrap behind the front plane, and the center line is following the S-curve rhythm. So basically, the overlapping lines are going to follow the rhythm of the plane we're looking at. With the RoboBean, it's actually much easier to see why this happens. Here, the side plane is wrapping behind the front plane, so this edge would overlap this one. On the other side, same thing. The front edge overlaps the back edge. Assignments, critiques, and a giveaway. Alright, so the assignment for this lesson is pretty obvious. Just find some poses, plenty available at proco.com/poses, and draw the robo-bean for that pose. You'll probably have a bunch of questions, concerns, mistakes you might have made, so next week I'll post examples of me drawing the robo-bean, which hopefully will address some of your questions. Also, keep submitting your exercises for critiques. I'm going to combine the submissions from the bean, structure, landmarks, robo-bean, and mannequinization lessons into one critique video, since all these lessons are related to building forms. So if you want to submit for a critique, do the assignment from this week's lesson, post your drawings on your Facebook page, Tumblr, blog, forum, wherever you like to post your artwork. In your post, make sure to mention this video and include a link to it. Email me and tell me where I can find your drawings. Make sure to follow the guidelines that I describe on proco.com/critiques.
Gonna keep solving.
And
I'll draw the bean, the torso, the bean shape. This has like 500,000 views, so it could be interesting. I'm already like half a minute, fucking 11 minutes in.
Hey, welcome back everyone, Rob here from Ram Studio Comics. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a lesson with you from my newest course, Figure Drawing, The Body in Action. It's now available on Udemy and on my own site. I'll make sure there's links in the description box below. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. It's about drawing a female torso using the bean shape method. And obviously this can apply to any torso, any size, shape, and form. But if this area of your work tends to look stiff, then I really recommend this particular method. It really helps with that sense of flow and movement through the body. So without further ado, let's jump in. If you got any questions, make sure to comment below. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Okay, so I want to talk to you about another way to twist the form. So there's lots of ways to think about this, one of which is the bean shape. So this is a pretty simple method for thinking about the midsection in a bit more of a organic way and getting that twist. Okay, so you can draw a few different bean shapes. It's kind of a fun little exercise actually, and I think the tricky part is really just how many ways can you draw this little bean bag or bean-like shape. But it's, it's just tricky to think of how the body could contort and bend these different ways, but then relating it to this basic shape. But it's a neat way to do it, a neat approach, because we tend to stiffen up our characters, right? So this is one that I think really helps you to alleviate that. So we'll just start with these right here. So some are similar, and we'll try to make those have some variation as we go here. But first, what I like to do is think about a center line. So for instance, if I say, okay, this is one where the character is leaning back, this would be the center line. So the sternum would be right about here. We could also draw a spine through there if we wanted to, but I'm going to forego the spine on this particular one and focus more on the front center line. So I'm going to drop in that sternum. I'm going to immediately go to the rib cage. So there's that W-like shape that I like to throw in there. And then from here, I really want to get right to the hip section here. So I'm thinking of the pelvis like this. Okay, something like that. And I'm not going to worry about drawing through like that because I'm just going to cover it up right now anyways. But I want to also talk to you about utilizing these curves to connect these. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a lot as we get into drawing these different figure drawing versions or examples. But it's not just drawing the three main masses and getting the twists and the contorting and the pinching and all that good stuff. It's also utilizing the right types of ways to connect them. And these little curves, these little like C curves, can be very impactful. Like they're just softer, right? So it's better than sitting there and trying to attach a straight line. And I feel like that almost goes without saying, but then again, I see that in people's work where they'll do it pretty nice, but then they will kind of connect things with very rigid lines. And there is a time and a place for that, and we'll talk about that. Angular lines are great for defining bony landmarks. It's great for showing masculinity in an illustration. It's great for stylization. There's all sorts of great things to use angles and organic lines for, curves versus angular. But there's kind of a balance, and then there's a right place for certain things. But so just like that, we've got a little bit more of the the rolled back upper torso like this. We can put a shoulder back here, deltoid, collarbones, maybe raise an arm. And if this was a male form, we would show the pectoralis muscle coming down like this. And then on this side where the delt is coming up, it's going to pull against the chest muscle. Kind of changes the shape here where on this side with the delt down, it's going to bow around more. So you could show that. I've kind of established that these are wider hips, so I'm going to make this a female torso. I'm going to place the breast right about here. I could start with these kind of ovals to kind of position and get the start of it. And I tend to try to use some curvature at the bottom, but not big spheres. I have to soften them up. I think it's better to think of them like teardrops than spheres, than spherical. So something like that. Just get those in place, and obviously we could bring those closer together, or just depends on the type of breast that you're trying to draw. And then for the center line, I'm going to bring this back more now, like this. And I like to draw these stomach muscles as one big shape. this kind of curved area, and then soften that up. I won't leave it so well defined. Just like if I draw the divides here, like the position,
I'm sorry. I always forget. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's keep watching.
something like this, the belly button right about there. But I won't leave those divided lines, obviously. It's just kind of the way I start it. So just like that, from our beanbag, we have this, start of a female torso. You can add just a little bit of the arms here, something like that. Position the neck up here. Okay, and let me soft erase this and clean it up.
Damn, relax. You fucking erased it.
So from here, what I would really stress is that, you're tracing out the forms that you want to see in your illustration, right? But at the same time, you want to kind of, what I consider rope draw and pull it all together. So as I mentioned, there's areas of this where you wouldn't want to trace every form. So for instance, you wouldn't want to trace every form of the rib cage because you get something very unnatural looking. So you have to kind of pick and choose those areas. If you want some definition, then you get in there and kind of, show a little bit, but at other points you want to soften it up and make it not so, so in your face, so visible. So subtlety can be a good thing right here. And then with breasts, we'll draw and talk about these more, but that's basically one of the things I try to think about is having them look like they sit against the rib cage, and at certain points will flatten out so that they don't appear too, too solid, too stiff against that form. So we just have to kind of flatten them out a little bit on the bottom here. It's kind of hard from this angle because this isn't really an area where it showcases it better on this side. And sometimes bringing this line up and then showing some of the reverse bend of the actual rib cage right there is a good way to do it. But I think less is more right there. The arm over here, deltoid here.
Yeah, they make it look so easy, bro.
Bring this deltoid up. I feel like from this side, we're going to possibly see two of the heads. So you got the front head, anterior head, and then you have the medial head. And then on the back, you have the posterior. So I think we would see the two heads there. Just keep in mind, you're never going to see all three heads at once. That's when you know you've kind of done something wrong. I don't think there's an angle you can see all three. Maybe from a top. Yeah, I don't think so. Generally, for the most part, you generally just see two at once. Okay, so just like that. And just remember, placement for the nipples. One of the easiest ways to do it is to find the center of the collarbones and then draw a triangle outward. And this usually will give you a pretty good alignment to where you can place the nipples.
Really?
Remember to use your wrapping lines if you're trying to get the forms figured out. The direction of the forms and that feeling of depth and dimension there. Okay, so just like that, we've used that bean shape to get us to the torso rather quickly. It's obviously going to vary based upon your confidence at drawing this particular area of the body and all that, but it's a very effective method. So what I challenge you to do is take this, and another way to look at this is to say, okay, where do I want to put the head opening in the shoulder? So you could say, well, this is a body leaned over, kind of doing a bit of a bow. So you could start with saying, okay, there's one opening to the shoulder on this side. This is opening for the neck. This is opening for the other shoulder. You use a dotted line because it's on the opposite side, from where we're viewing it at. And then you establish your center line, and then you go from there. Or at least that's the way I tend to do it. So you could start with that, and you can really, give yourself some initial guides to how you can get this going. So like these two, the bottom two are the same, right? But we could say, well, let's bring that neck opening here. Let's put the arm openings here. But now this is the back of the character. It's a bit much of a back bend, but some people are pretty flexible, right? So they can pull it off. So do that. We're going to take this and work out these examples like this, but you can also find your cross section that really helps with placing the rib cage, right? So you can do something like that. And then, so this being the back, I would probably start with, figuring out the scapula. The spine of scapula comes down like this at an angle.
I get it. I get it. All right, let me get back to Photoshop and see. I'm just gonna freehand this, and I'm just gonna freestyle this. I'm gonna draw a bunch of beans. I reckon this is actually supposed to be like a warm-up exercise, like drawing the beans. Here we go. This is plugged. Alright. Play. We've got 10 minutes to draw some beans. I think it would be enough. Come on. Here we go. Alright. One thing I'm missing from when I tried to draw beans yesterday is the overlaps. So when I'm trying to do a bean, I haven't been doing this. I haven't been considering the overlaps. Now this is what I call a bean. Okay. And then we can have like something like this. And so then it's behind, or it's not really in depth. It should not always be in depth, but then we have a little bit of this. And then a little bit of this. And that's a bean. That's a bean. And that can actually be the actual finger. An actual finger, That's an actual finger, dog. That's good. Alright. Now it's facing straight ahead. Like this, and like this. You see, paying attention to this is very interesting. Because now I have my sole focus on this, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I see what's happening. This is a bean. Alright. Let's keep it moving to the other direction. There it is. Alright, and then when it's sort of like flat, this is like our shape. Right? Now, let's say it's looking that way. So we've got this shape and this shape. And, wait. How do we do this? I don't even know how the center line goes. I'm not going to try. Actually, I am going to try. Fuck you. The center line is going to be this way. Here. Now, for these, we've got this shape right here. And then this shape right here. The overlaps, I don't know about the overlap. Oh, here it is. That's it, we got it. That's the overlap. Now, on top of each other, I feel like this could be like this, no overlaps, or maybe like a little bit of an overlap. Dude, how do I draw without chicken scratching? Or it could be like something like this, but you've got this here, you see? Yeah, probably, yeah. And then this here. There it is. Alright, I think I know how to draw the bean now. There it is. And then when it is like this, that's like the flat surface. That's flat. There you go. Maybe if it, well, I've been using like 2 circles, but what if I freehand it like this and then added that? How would that look? Okay, maybe we do that when like the bean is too heavy on the top, maybe, and it's like, oh my god, you know. This is center line. Wait, nope. Okay, I wonder how we can use the center line to give this more dimension. Because I'm getting the dimension with the overlap. But here, for example, this is 3-dimensional, but there's no overlaps. This is like foreshortened, but there's no overlaps. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure this out. Sort of, okay. How do we draw it from the top? You know what I mean? So I've got a circle right here, and then a circle right here. 2 circles, and then it's from the top. And so we'll have this and this. This is like, okay, yeah, I see it. But you can look at it both ways. You can look at it as like, actually, maybe we can move this a little bit to forward. Does that look straight? I feel like it doesn't. Maybe if we go a little bit inside, just because we're looking at it from a very weird angle, and so the perspective should be weird as well. But what if it's like hanging out so much that it's apparent? You know? But yeah, it's alright. We can draw, I don't know, I feel like this is it. Like, I know how to draw a bean now. Like, it's all about the overlap. You know, this is a bean overlap. This is a bean heavier on this side. You know, maybe we shouldn't make that overlap a little too apparent. Maybe we can do this. You know, come on. Just come on already. Fine, you know what? Fine. Maybe we can do that. It doesn't have to be like an actual whoop. You know what I mean? And this is interesting because it feels foreshortened as well. Actually, let me draw. That's interesting. There it is. Let's give it a little bit detail. I feel like I'm better off drawing with a regular brush than with this brush. This brush leaves it a little bit too messy. The way it kind of like it's built, you know what I mean? It's not clean. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Any other way we can draw a bean? I don't know. Let's draw a weird one. This is a bean. Maybe, okay. Look. Maybe, oh, look at this. Dude, the bean shape is very interesting. It's very eye-opening right now. Because this is literally just a leg from the bottom. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it from the bottom. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? This is the leg. This is literally just a leg. Very interesting. Very interesting bean shape. I love it. The overlaps and everything just adds to it. It adds so much to it. Well, what happens when we do this? Oh, this feels, you know, it feels like a scoop. What happens when we, okay, I haven't tried this actually with the boxes exercise. So let's say we have this box, right? What happens when we twist it? And so this line right here goes like this, right? And this line is going to follow. Right? And this one is going like this. I don't know, I'm not good at twisting. But okay, enough of this. Let me grab a hand and try to draw it. I'm already 33 minutes in. One hand. Let's put this knowledge, this newfound knowledge into action. Goodness. Okay. Nope. Alright, here we go. Can you draw on it? Yeah, let's draw on it. Alright, this is flat, so this should be sort of like relatively easy. Okay, now we have this right here, this right here, and this right here. I don't like when the fingers are like these little just pieces. The fingers are just fucking pieces. Okay, bean shape. Look at this little bean, motherfucker. Oh, you see that? That's literally just a bean, bro. There's an overlap, a bean with a bunch of overlaps. This nail is too big. Yeah, something like this. Maybe even like the thumb is a little bit large. Here we go. Stop filling with that. And then, alright, we will have the fingers. Alright, so one that cuts down the middle, usually the bit between the middle finger and that. This is one. This is another bean. I'm looking out for beans from now on, because beans are very interesting. They give depth. They're very good at giving depth to things. This is the thumb. We're fixing the thumb. Here we go. I think this should be a little bit flatter because it's sort of like almost pressing on there. Alright, Beans. Mr. Bean. Hey, look at that. We got another bean. This finger is a goddamn bean. You see that shit? See that? That's a bean. Alright. Officially, beans changed my fucking life. Here it is. This is the hands. And this feels a little, this nail placement feels a little off, but yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Now this is the wand or whatever they're holding. Whoops. We can just go straight. Yep. Here we go. Beans. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. And that's about it. Alright. Take care of yourselves, motherfuckers. Peace the fuck out.